Hey, we're back on Gadgetplex with Philip May from Techno RV, and we've been talking about Consumer Electronics Show. And here is one really interesting product that Phil did a great interview on.
Hi, okay, we're here on the Ion booth, and I wanted to show you something. It's still a prototype at the moment, and what it is a book digitizer. So it kind of looks a little bit interesting. So if I lift this up here, you'll see here's the book that you want to digitize down below, and what you do is place this little digitizer on top, press the button here, save, and what it'll do is does a scan of that book, and then when you want to change the page, just lift it up, put that down, press the scan button again. Now you're probably thinking, why would I want to do that? Well, think about it. For a lot of our customers, if you're traveling a lot of the time, I have my favorite cookery books. There might be some manuals that you want to bring with you. Rather than bringing the whole book, and if you like cooking, I had a huge book of cookery books. With this 15 minutes, you can digitize I think that's like a 200-page book, and then just transfer it onto your computer so you can view it and read it. So pretty nice solution for reducing the clutter in your RV, and yet being able to bring all those books that you would like to with you on your journey.
Phil, I thought that was a particularly interesting product, but you know, I'm not a full-time RVer. But when I start to think about how many books and manuals and, you know, the instructions to a particular gadget that you don't need except every year and a half or 2 years when you need it to know a setting, I mean, this seems to me it solves a real problem.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's kind of unique being a full-time RVer. There's a limited amount of space, and as you know, we travel with 2 teenagers, so we have even less space, and you should see some of the closets. But like you say, there are often manuals and documents and books that you have that you want to either have with you while you're traveling, or to be available. And then often they're not always, or to preserve, and then not always available online. There may be some older photo albums that you wanted to scan and preserve. Now, the thing about the DocuScanner, as we were seeing there, I know it's a prototype, but I thought it was just a real neat way of solving that problem.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little bit big, as you could see from the video, but I was thinking that perhaps, you know, before you were going away, you know, you could do the scanning of the books and documents and manuals and things that you needed. Then at least while you were traveling, you'd have those available on your laptop and computer, so that you know, if you needed them, they were available, but didn't take up that valuable space.
Yeah. Did you get any indication from them as far as a general price point, or when they might bring that to market?
They were a little bit vague about it, but my guess is that we're looking sort of 3 to 6 months out, because that was quite an early prototype. You could tell just in the way that in handling. But you know, it certainly seemed to work pretty well. Price point, I'm not sure, but my own guess would be probably around a couple of $100, at least to start with.
Yeah.
But again, that's just my guess.
Yeah. Well, you know, earlier in the show we talked about the testing program that you have. But just very briefly, before we get to that, we've got the Techno RV blog page pulled up. Thought we'd take a brief look at that, and then you could tell us more about the testing program.
Sure. Excellent. So the Techno RV blog page is really just sort of my means of putting on there it's useful information that I get, and the people who come to our booth and who know us might like to see. The one on the front page there is called Liquid Gold, a Daylight Robbery, was one that I wrote about, which was really just a kind of an update for people who may not realize that when you're printing in black and white, with most printers, and this was, I have an HP, and in fact I worked for HP for 15 years, which is, I guess, partly why this riled me so much, was when you're printing in black and white, what it does is it's printing in color underneath and then putting black on top. So, you know, unless you're aware of that, you just wonder, like I did, why, you know, my color cartridges were running out quickly. So that was just one example.
Yeah.
It's an expensive one.
Well, so you've got that. You have these sorts of tips that come along in your newsletter. And when you sign up for the newsletter, are you automatically signed up to be a possible product tester, or how does that work?
So when you sign up, there's a couple of ways of signing up. If you come and visit us at the shows, you have a little a check. So you sign up for the newsletter, and then if you're interested in the product testing program, you just check the box. If you go to our website, and at the bottom you can sign up to the newsletter. When you then go to the next page, that's right, you can see a little box there. it will say, what did you want to sign up for? And it'll say general interest, maybe special offers, and I think one of them is the product testing program.
Yeah, it looks like you've got some.
They can always just send me an email.
Got some examples here. You've got Wi-Fi boosters, kind of a shoot-off between them, some solar chargers. Right. How do you select the particular products, and how many people might test, for example, this LED light kit here?
So we try and select products for the product testing program that we really would like a bit of feedback on. I mean, a good example is the Wi-Fi boosters there, because there was a big external one which mounted on the outside of the RV. Then we had a couple little smaller ones, and indeed there was also one that looked like a little satellite dish. So I was interested in what type of situation were people finding themselves in. I mean, were they wanting something small and portable, or were they looking for something that was just the biggest and baddest booster that they could have, and they didn't care that it was outside? So what we did was would make do a little description as to what the products are and how they work, and then we have an electronic feedback form, a little bit like a survey, and people can say which features and functions and things they like, and then enter where they've had some problems. And we get really good, honest and useful feedback. People telling stories about how they have to wait in the rain outside the laundry with their laptop to connect, and all sorts of fun things like that make it helpful and useful for us. Because again, our motto is we don't want to just put everything out there. We want to select the one or two that's the best and the most appropriate for the RVers, and make those available.
Yeah. Well, as we're wrapping up our show today, one of the questions I want to try and ask each week is kind of a favorite product of the week, and so but the category this week is under $20. If someone were wanting to spend less than $20, what sort of gadget would be particularly useful to an RVer?
Okay, so I got a great one for you this week. Let me show you this. It's I don't know if you can see that there. It's actually it's a clip-on light. Now, let me show you how this is going to work. It's got two LEDs in the little light here. I don't know whether you can see those. And what this does is it mounts onto your glasses. There's a little clip. You put that onto your glasses there. And so in an RV, one of the problems that you have is you sometimes are there without any electric, and so you're running on your batteries. Now, a lot of our RVers like to read at night, and it's always a problem. How do you light the book without having the main light on? And then, if your partner's there next to you, like I am, I'm always used to be saying to my wife, "Hey, Tracy, turn the light off. I can't sleep." With the reading light here, it goes ahead and lights up the book or whatever it is that you're reading there. Works great with the Kindle, by the way, without having to have the main light on.
Yeah.
So yours truly gets to sleep. You don't flatten the battery, as well as it's good to have for maps and things when you're if you're the co-pilot while you're driving.
Yeah.
So I think this is just under $20. It's very popular. I thought that would be a good one.
It is a good one. I mean, particularly after generators are shut down for the night, and you just need to check something and so forth. Well, that's about all we have for this episode of Gadgetplex as far as time's concerned. Thanks very much for joining us. You can, of course, get in touch with Phil at Gadgetplex at rvnn.tv. Also, you can leave a voicemail for questions or comments at 1-877-578-RVNN, extension 703, and that'll go directly to Phil. Thanks very much for joining us, and in the RV world, there's always a place for a Gadgetplex.
For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to rvnn.tv.